I stared at my phone as Kate's name lit up the screen for the 7th time in 10 minutes. My hands shook as I watched it vibrate across my coffee table, each buzz feeling like an accusation. She knew. Somehow, after all this time, she'd found out about Veronica. The messages started flooding in 2 hours ago, right as I was settling into my Saturday morning routine. The first one made my stomach drop. We need to talk. Now. Then came a screenshots. Text after text between Nate and me, pulled from his phone somehow, all talking about Veronica. About Kate being Veronica. About our vampire joke that now, ripped from context and displayed on her screen, looked absolutely insane. I'd spent 18 months building a friendship with Nate that meant everything to me. We'd started as lecturer and student, evolved into dissertation partners, then became genuine friends after that one drunken kiss that fizzled into nothing. The vampire joke had been our thing, our ridiculous inside world that nobody else needed to understand. Except now, Kate did understand it, sort of, and she understood it all wrong. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Nate. "Where are you? Kate's losing it. She thinks we've been having an affair. She found the Veronica stuff." The coffee in my cup had gone cold. I'd been sitting here for 20 minutes, frozen, trying to figure out how something so innocent had become so twisted. The vampire joke started back when Nate's parents were pressuring him about marriage. He'd been stressed, complaining about their constant questions about girlfriends and timelines. I'd suggested he tell them he was dating a vampire as a joke, just to mess with them. We'd laughed about it, built this whole elaborate backstory. Veronica McVampire became our running gag, our shared escape from the pressure cooker of grad school and family expectations. Then Kate entered the picture 6 months ago. Sweet night shift nurse Kate, who actually fit some of Veronica's characteristics. The messed up sleep schedule, the pale skin from never seeing daylight, the aversion to garlic because of some digestive thing. It had seemed hilarious at the time to fold Kate into the Veronica mythology. We weren't making fun of her. We were just being idiots with an inside joke that had grown legs and walked itself into dangerous territory. Another text from Kate. "You've been calling me Veronica behind my back for months. What kind of person does that?" I needed to fix this. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door, my mind racing through every conversation, every text, every stupid joke that now looked like evidence of something sinister. The drive to Nate's apartment took 12 minutes, but it felt like hours. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles went white. When I arrived, Kate's car was already there, parked at an aggressive angle across 2 spaces. I could see them through the ground floor window, Kate pacing back and forth while Nate sat on the couch with his head in his hands. This was bad. This was worse than bad. I knocked. The door flew open before my knuckles finished the second rap. "You've got some nerve showing up here," Kate said. Her eyes were red, mascara smudged down her cheeks. She looked like she'd been crying for hours. "Kate, please, let me explain. The Veronica thing, it's not what you think." "Not what I think?" I read the texts. "Veronica's working late again." "Tell Veronica I said hi." "Hope Veronica doesn't find out." "Find out what exactly?" Her voice cracked on the last word. Nate appeared behind her, looking exhausted. "She went through my phone this morning, found everything going back to when we first met." "Because you've been acting weird," Kate snapped at him. "Always texting her, always with the inside jokes I'm not part of. Now I know why. You two have been laughing at me this whole time." "We haven't been laughing at you," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "Can I please come in and explain the whole story from the beginning?" Kate stepped aside, but her body language screamed hostility. I walked into the apartment I'd been to dozens of times before, but now it felt foreign, unwelcoming. Nate's laptop was open on the coffee table, and I could see more of our text conversations displayed on the screen. Someone had been doing a deep dive. "Start talking," Kate said, arms crossed. I took a breath. Okay, so about 18 months ago, when Nate and I first became friends, he was dealing with a lot of pressure from his parents about getting married. They were really pushy about it, comparing him to his younger brother who'd just gotten engaged. Nate was frustrated and stressed, and one day I made a joke that he should tell them he's dating a vampire so they'd back off. Kate's expression didn't change. That's stupid. It is stupid, I agreed. But we were stupid grad students with too much caffeine and not enough sleep. The joke kept growing. We gave her a name, Veronica McVampire. We made up personality traits. It became this running thing whenever we'd hang out. Just dumb stress relief. And then you met me, Kate said flatly, and decided I should be your vampire. Not like that, Nate interjected. When we started dating, you mentioned working night shifts and how you barely see daylight. It reminded me of the Veronica joke, and I mentioned it to her. We thought it was funny how life was imitating our stupid joke. So you've been calling me Veronica for 6 months? To each other? Behind my back? Kate's voice rose with each question. Glanced at Nate. This was spiraling. We should have told you about the joke early on. That's on us. But Kate, I swear we weren't making fun of you. It was just this dumb thing that got out of hand. Do you know how it feels? Kate's voice broke. To discover your boyfriend and his female best friend have a secret name for you? To read texts where you're talking about me like I'm some kind of character in your private game? The word game hit different. Because wasn't that exactly what it was? A game that Nate and I had been playing, so caught up in our own amusement that we'd never considered how it might look from the outside. There's more, Kate said, pulling out her phone. This text from 3 months ago. Can't make trivia tonight. Veronica's being clingy. That was the night I asked you to stay in with me because I had a rough shift and needed company. Nate winced. I worded that badly. Or, honestly, Kate shot back. This one's even better. Veronica's getting suspicious about us hanging out so much. Might need to cool it for a bit. That was right after I asked why you two text so much. You made me feel crazy for asking, said I was being insecure. But you knew. You knew it looked weird, and instead of explaining, you just tried to hide it better. My stomach churned. Seeing the texts through Kate's eyes, without the context of our friendship and the stupid origins of the joke, it looked damning. It looked exactly like what she thought it was. Kate, I started, but she held up her hand. I'm not done. This one's from last week. Veronica asked about your dissertation, had to improvise, said it was about economic policy. She believed it. My dissertation was about economic policy. You were literally talking about a conversation we had and mocking me for believing your lies. That's not what happened, Nate said quickly. You asked about her dissertation, and I got the details wrong. I texted her about it because I felt bad for not paying better attention when you were talking. We weren't mocking you. But you were lying to me, Kate said. Every time you texted, every inside joke, every time you said you were hanging out just as friends, you were lying. Because friends don't have secret names for one girlfriend. Friends don't have this whole elaborate joke about someone they supposedly care about. She was right. The realization hit me like a truck. We'd been so wrapped up in maintaining this stupid bit that we'd never stopped to think about how disrespectful it was to keep Kate in the dark. You're right, I said quietly. We should have told you. The second we started calling you Veronica, even as a joke, we should have brought you in on it or dropped it entirely. That's on us. On me especially, because I'm the one who started the whole vampire thing. Kate laughed, but it was bitter. Oh, it gets better. Want to know how I found out? Nate's brother called this morning, asked how Veronica was doing. I said, "Who's Veronica?" And he got all awkward and changed the subject. So, I went through Nate's phone, because clearly everyone knows about Veronica except me. Nate's face went pale. Tom knows? Apparently your whole family knows, Kate said. Your brother, your parents, probably your friends too. Everyone's in on the joke except the punchline herself. The room fell silent. This was so much worse than I'd imagined. It wasn't just texts between Nate and me. He'd apparently been using the Veronica name with his family too, which meant Kate wasn't just hurt, she was humiliated. I need to sit down, I said, dropping onto Nate's couch. Kate, I understand if you hate me right now, but I need you to know that there's nothing romantic between Nate and me. There never has been." "You kissed," Kate said. "I saw that in the texts too. Remember when we kissed and there was no spark? You two have history." "We kissed once, over a year ago, right after I graduated. It was nothing. We both agreed it was nothing. That's why we stayed friends, because there was no romantic interest on either side." Kate looked at Nate. "Is that true?" He nodded. "Completely true. It was one drunken kiss that confirmed we're better off as friends. I never think of her that way. I never have. Not really. That initial attraction was just surface-level stuff that disappeared the moment we actually got to know each other." "But you think of me as Veronica," Kate said. "Not even as Kate, your girlfriend, as some character in your shared universe with her." The way she said "her" stung more than any direct insult could have. I'd become the other woman in Kate's story, even though that's not what this was. At least, I didn't think that's what it was. "I'm sorry," Nate said. "Kate, I'm so sorry. It started as such a harmless thing, and I never thought about how it would make you feel. You're right that I should have told you. About all of it. The vampire joke, the Veronica stuff, everything. I got comfortable with this inside joke and forgot that inside jokes can hurt people on the outside." "You forgot I existed," Kate said. "Or you remembered, but you didn't care enough to include me or end the joke." She was crying again now, and I felt like the worst person in the world. This woman had done nothing wrong. She'd started dating someone who came with a best friend and an established dynamic. And instead of making space for her in that dynamic, we'd kept her at arm's length with our stupid jokes in secret language. "What can we do to fix this?" I asked. "Kate, what do you need from us?" She wiped her eyes. "I need to understand why. Why was it so important to keep this joke going? Why couldn't you just use my actual name?" Nate and I looked at each other. It was a good question, and I didn't have a good answer. "Habit?" I offered weakly. "It started before we knew you, and then when you came along and happened to fit the Veronica characteristics, it seemed funny to us. But that's not an excuse. We should have been more thoughtful." "Here's what I think," Kate said, her voice gaining strength. "I think you two have this special bond, this friendship, that's so important to both of you that you forgot other people have feelings. I think the Veronica joke let you maintain some kind of exclusive club that I wasn't allowed into. And I think, whether you want to admit it or not, there's something between you two that isn't entirely platonic." "There isn't," I protested. "Kate, I promise you, I don't have feelings for Nate. Not like that." "Maybe not romantic feelings," Kate said, "but you have some kind of feelings. You're territorial about your friendship. You like having these inside jokes that exclude everyone else. You like being the person he texts when something funny happens. And mate, you enable it because you like having two separate worlds, your girlfriend world and your best friend world, and never shall the two meet." The accusation hung in the air. Was she right? Had I been territorial about my friendship with Nate? I thought back to the past 6 months, to how I'd felt when Nate started dating Kate. Had I been happy for him? Or had there been some small part of me that resented the intrusion into our dynamic? "I don't know," I admitted. "Maybe you're right. Maybe I have been territorial without realizing it. But Kate, I genuinely want Nate to be happy. If that's with you, then I want to support that. I want to fix this." Kate shook her head. "I don't think you can. This isn't about explaining the joke or promising to use my real name from now on. This is about trust. How can I trust either of you when you've been doing this for months? How do I know what else you're hiding?" "We're not hiding anything else," Nate said desperately. "Kate, please. I love you. I know I messed up, but I love you and I want to make this right." "Do you?" Kate asked. "Or do you love the idea of having a girlfriend while still maintaining this special friendship where you can joke about your girlfriend with your female best friend?" The question hit like a slap. Nate looked genuinely shocked. "That's not fair." "Isn't it?" Kate's voice was steady now, tears drying on her cheeks. "Be honest with yourself, Nate. If I gave you an ultimatum right now, me or her, who would you choose?" The silence stretched out. It lasted maybe 3 seconds, but it felt eternal. And in that silence, I saw the answer written all over Nate's face. He was weighing his options. He was actually considering it. "That's what I thought," Kate said softly. She grabbed her purse from the couch. "Kate, wait," Nate said, standing up. "Don't leave like this. We can talk about this." "We have been talking," Kate said, "and here's what I've learned. You and her have something that I'm not part of. Whether it's romantic or not doesn't matter. What matters is that when it came down to it, you chose the joke over my feelings. You chose your inside world with her over transparency with me. So I'm making this easy for you. I'm choosing for you." She headed for the door, and Nate followed her. "Kate, please. I choose you. I'm choosing you right now." 3 seconds too late, Kate said. She opened the door, then turned back to look at me. "I don't hate you. I actually feel sorry for you. Because someday you're going to realize that you torpedoed someone's relationship for a stupid vampire joke, and you're going to have to live with that." The door closed behind her. Nate stood there, staring at it, like he could will her to come back through sheer force of wanting. Then he turned to me, and his expression was something I'd never seen before. It wasn't anger exactly, but it wasn't far off. "You need to leave," he said. "Nate, no, just go. Please, just go." I grabbed my bag and left without another word. The drive home was a blur. My phone stayed silent. No texts from Nate, no more angry messages from Kate, just silence, which somehow felt worse than the confrontation. Back in my apartment, I pulled up my text history with Nate and started scrolling. Kate was right. Reading through our conversations, seeing how often we talked about Veronica, how casual we'd been about it all, it looked terrible. We'd created this alternate reality where Kate was a character instead of a person, and we'd never stopped to consider how dehumanizing that might be. The worst part was the texts where Nate complained about relationship stuff, using the Veronica name like a shield. Veronica's upset I forgot her birthday dinner looked very different from Kate's upset I forgot her birthday dinner. The fake name created distance, turned real hurt into something abstract and almost amusing. Had we done that on purpose? Had we known, on some level, that we were being cruel? 3 days passed. Nate finally texted me on Tuesday afternoon. "Kate broke up with me, for real this time. She won't answer my calls." I stared at the message, trying to figure out what to say. "I'm sorry" felt inadequate. "It'll be okay" felt like a lie. Before I could respond, another text came through. "My parents are asking about it. Had to explain the whole Veronica thing. They think we're idiots." They're right. Then, maybe Kate was right about us too. My heart started pounding. "What do you mean?" The 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, "Maybe we do have something weird going on. Not romantic, but something. Some kind of codependency where we value our inside jokes more than we value other people's feelings. That's not healthy." He was right. I knew he was right. But admitting it felt like losing something important. "I think we need to take a break," his next message said. "From the friendship. I need to figure out who I am without the constant running commentary, without the jokes, without using you as a buffer between me and real life. Kate deserved better than what I gave her. Future girlfriends deserve better too." "How long of a break?" I typed. "I don't know. A while. Maybe a long while." I set my phone down and cried for the first time since this whole thing started. Not because I was losing Nate romantically. There was nothing romantic to lose. But because I was losing my friend, and it was entirely my own fault. I'd started the vampire joke. I'd encouraged it to continue. I'd been so delighted by our shared sense of humor that I'd never considered the casualties. Kate called me that evening. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won out. "Hi," I said cautiously. "Hi," she replied. She sounded tired. "I'm not calling to yell at you. I'm actually calling to say thank you." That caught me off guard. For what? For showing me who Nate really is before I wasted more time on him. If he could keep something like this from me for 6 months, what else would he hide? "You did me a favor, even if you didn't mean to." I really am sorry, Kate. I never wanted to hurt you. I believe you, she said. I don't think you're a bad person. I think you're someone who got so comfortable in a friendship that you forgot other people exist outside of it. But here's the thing. You're 22. You have time to figure out how to be a better friend, a better person. Just learn from this, okay? Learn that inside jokes are only fun when they don't come at someone else's expense. I will, I promised. For what it's worth, Nate really did care about you. He's torn up about this. Good, Kate said. He should be. Maybe next time he'll think twice before turning his girlfriend into a punchline. She paused. Take care of yourself. And maybe consider whether your friendship with Nate is actually as healthy as you think it is. She hung up before I could respond. I sat there in my apartment, surrounded by the silence, thinking about everything that had happened. A stupid joke had cost Nate his relationship and me my best friend. We'd both learned an expensive lesson about the difference between harmless fun and thoughtless cruelty. My phone buzzed one more time that night. Nate again. For the record, Veronica, McVampire is officially dead. No more vampire jokes, no more secret names. Just trying to be a better person from here on out. I typed back. Same here. Good luck, Nate. You too. And that was it. The end of our friendship, at least for now. The end of the vampire joke. The end of thinking I could maintain a special inside world without consequences in the outside one. I deleted our text history the next morning. Not because I wanted to forget, but because I needed to let go. The Veronica McVampire saga was over, and it was time to figure out who I was without it. Time to learn how to be a friend who considered other people's feelings before protecting my own comfort. Time to grow up. It's been 6 months now. Nate and I have exchanged a handful of polite messages, but we haven't hung out. He's dating someone new, according to social media, and she looks happy. I hope he's learned his lesson. I hope he's letting her into his world instead of creating secret ones around her. As for me, I'm working on being more thoughtful, more aware of how my actions affect others. I catch myself sometimes about to make an inside joke with a friend, and I pause to think about who might be listening, who might feel excluded, who might get hurt. It's not natural yet, but I'm getting better. Kate was right about everything. The joke wasn't harmless. The friendship wasn't as healthy as I thought. And I did need to learn how to be better, so that's what I'm doing. One day, one conversation, one honest interaction at a time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you have forgiven a friend who created a secret nickname for you?